and welcome once more to another riveting insight into the inner workings of my life. It has been quite some time since I last was able to entertain all of you, but I'm sure you understand I have been very preoccupied as of late. However, I am here now, and that is what matters. Now, before we get started, I want to let you all know I will be at SAC Anime in Sacramento, California this next weekend. Specifically, Neo and I will be hitting the streets on Saturday. So if you plan on being in attendance, feel free to say hello. And now that that is done, how about we get to business? Our first question comes from Eren Jaeger, asking, if I had to change anything about my life, what would I change and why? Now, let me be honest with you for a moment. I know I have an air of no regrets, and tend to carry myself as if I'm perfectly satisfied with my life. But I do have some regrets that haunt me to this day. They plague me nightly and have me walking on eggshells, constantly second-guessing myself. This regret, of course, was my decision to have this jacket made in white. I mean, honestly, I could have picked any other color in the world that wouldn't have me paranoid I would brush up against some dirt and look the fool for having a smudge on my clothing. But I just had to choose this. And now that is my look. I would change it if I could, but this is what I'm known for, and that is my life's regret. It feels good to get that off my chest. Thank you, Eren. Our next question comes from Emily Pothoff, who would like to know what type of faunus Neo and I would choose to be, and what sort of pickup line I might use on Blake, should I feel the need to drop her a line. Well, I can't speak for Neo 100%, but I can tell you that she has quite the affinity for owls. As for myself, I would like to introduce you all to TheRomanTorchwick. Yes. Needless to say, I have a soft spot for these hard-shelled critters, and I would make quite the dashing turtle if I do say so myself. As for your second question, if I were to feel the need to pick up on Miss Belladonna, it would go something along the lines of, "Hey there, kitty cat. How about you and I get into a little trouble together this time?" Masta Tracks is here asking, what was my favorite fight, and if I could fight anyone, who would it be? It's very hard to pick a favorite fight, considering I always have better things to do than squabble with children. But Blake and Monkey Boy did give me a good run for my money in our little 2-on-1 match. I still can't figure out why anyone this day and age would still be using a flintlock, though. It vexes me. Now, as far as anyone I would like to fight, oh, let me see. I would enjoy a bout with Crow. After all, my hat could always use another feather. This looks like a good place to stop and do this episode's photographer spotlight, so I will be right back after this. When I was a young boy, my father took me into the city to see a marching band. He said, "Son, when you grow up, will you be the savior of the broken, beaten, and the damned? And will you defeat them?"
Oh, thank God.
Hello and welcome to this episode's Photographer Spotlight, where I like to give credit to the photographers who I've worked with at conventions and whatnot, and really just show off their work because I enjoy it. Now, the first photographer we have here is Eric Valverde Photography. Now, Eric was wonderful to work with, and he was a lot of fun, and he was just so nice to introduce us to the two following photographers and everything also. But most of all, I just enjoy following his work on Facebook and just seeing the antics he gets into. So, enjoy this. And then we have Kulotsky D. And this gentleman is a wonderful photographer in his own right, and I especially liked the direction he gave during our little photo shoot and everything. He's a more casual photographer. He gets things done in his own time. You know, it's not a sport to get things out quickly, and he does a wonderful job in post-production. So go ahead and follow him on Facebook as well. You get to see him and Eric interact and everything, and it's quite amusing. And last but certainly not least, we have Sync On Photography, another photographer whom Eric introduced Neo and I to. He is also a very wonderful photographer, gives great direction, and we got to have a little fun, as you can see in the picture here. So feel free, and I very much encourage you to follow these three gentlemen on Facebook, and we will now get back to business with Ask the Roman Torchwick. Thank you. And I am back. Now, we were all just going to acknowledge the spotlight, and nothing else that you may have seen. Now let's cut to Marvelous Will Gaming, who wishes to know who my favorite comic book villain is, and why. I must say I've never considered choosing a favorite amongst a group of villains that are written to fail regardless of their plans. I do find that I relate to Riddler quite a bit, though. Not only does he have quite the sense of style, but he is quite the psychological villain as well, and I like that. Now, Nick would like to know why I chose Junior's men when I was robbing the dust shop, considering their obvious incompetence. Well, it's quite simple, Nick. I didn't employ them for their combat skills, knowing full well they're just glorified bouncers for the club. I employed them because they have 2 arms, 2 legs, and could carry the dust out for me. In addition, I figured they would be smarter than a donkey. I was wrong. And lastly, Anna Ravenheart wishes to know if her ability to cheat at poker qualifies her to be my Lady Luck. Well, Anna, if you can show me just how lucrative your abilities can be, I may just consider you for the position. And that is all for now. Feel free to leave any questions you have in the comments, and should you be feeling generous, there is a link to my coffee in the description below. If you would like to see more of my content, you can follow me at Schnikeyman Cosplay on Facebook, or Schnikeyman on basically any other social media but Twitter. This has been fun, and until next time, watch your wallets.